We here at Lakefront TV have done 50 shows of Salute. We'd like to keep it going with at least another 50. We need your help. We're proud of what we've done, and we're very thankful for the guests we've had on the show in the past. But we'd like to have some more guests, so if your group or you as an individual have a story you wish to tell, give us a call at 352-728-9707. We're looking for people who live in Lake County and the villages. And thank you for watching Salute. Hi, I'm Bob Peters, and welcome to a special edition of Salute. I'm on location in Tavares, Florida at Cornerstone Hospice. We're going to be honoring a very special soldier. Right, Idol?
This is Idol Vom Haus Huro.
Detail, halt, order, march. Ayoft, haste.
Idol has achieved the rank of Sergeant First Class with Staff Sergeant Basil Reed up at Fort Drum in upstate New York.
Freeze and march.
Basil served in the U.S. Marines from 1998 to 2002.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Basil got out of the Marines, but then decided he wanted to get back into the service, and so he joined the Army. And when he joined the Army, he went overseas to war, but unfortunately he got hurt. He got a brain injury. Thank you.
What would this role this dog would do?
Because Idol is a seizure alert dog, what that meant was if Basil would start to have a seizure, if he was standing up, Idol would get in front of him to catch him, to keep him from falling over and get him down safely. If he was having maybe a seizure in bed, or if he was having bad dreams, Idol would get up to lick his face. He'd get up on the bed and lick his face gently to help to wake him up, to help him come out of the dream, or to help him come out of the seizure. It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty special.
It really is.
Yeah.
But Idol knew when it was going to happen, and he was there every time. I know for a fact that at least twice he caught Basil from falling downstairs. Idol seats. Thank you. Idol lived with Basil and his family for about a year. During that year, his wife kept kind of getting sick. As time went by, she became very asthmatic to the point she ended up in the hospital. They found out it was because she was highly allergic to Idol. So they had to make a tough decision. They wanted Idol to continue to serve in some sort of capacity. It ends up Basil's wife is a criminal defense attorney. And in my nonprofit, my organization supplies therapy dogs for kids that have to testify in court. And these are kids of abuse, neglect, things like that. So she just thought it would be a great fit. I was pretty honored. So I had Idol flown from New York to Tennessee. Within the first 5 minutes, I sat down on the floor and Idol came and sat on my lap. It didn't matter what Wolf thought at that point. I've always been big into rescue dogs and mutts. Never had a purebred. Never had a dog that was trained like this. It's been an experience.
You know, these military dogs play an invaluable role to defending our great nation. As a matter of fact, they're known as the Guardians of Freedom, Army Canine Corps. To quote General David Petraeus, commander of U.S. forces in Afghanistan, he said, "The capability these dogs bring to the fight cannot be replicated by man or machine."
Hard. Hard.
And you know, being a veteran, I know just what that means. You know, these military dogs can mean to another soldier. So I was immediately excited with the opportunity to bring Idol out to some of the salutes that we do for these veterans that are shut in nursing homes and assisted living facilities, and also excited to have Idol come on board to see if he could bring that same smile and that same joy to some of our patients as they face critical illness. I'm Alex Newsom, the Veterans Program Supervisor for Cornerstone Hospice. I have the distinct pleasure of running the Cornerstone Salutes program. And Bob, what that is a comprehensive program to honor the service of the veterans that we're caring for as they near the end of life. 1 out of every 4 deaths in America is a veteran, so it behooves other hospice agencies like ourselves to educate ourselves on the needs of veterans as they near the end of life. Veterans live differently, and in some cases, they die differently. In this We Honor Veterans initiative, an organization can achieve certain ranks, 1 out of 4. And I'm proud to say over 2,000 hospice organizations have joined the We Honor Veterans initiative, but only 109 of them have reached level 4. A few months back, Cornerstone Hospice earned their level 4 partnership with the We Honor Veterans. So we're fully prepared to meet the needs of these veterans as they face a challenging illness. We've learned about PTSD, we've learned about the VA benefit, and we've reached out to the veterans community at large. And one of the most important parts of the Salutes program is the pinning ceremonies that we do for these veterans in their home or in the nursing home, wherever it is they call home.
My name is George Wanberg. I am the Veterans Coordinator Liaison for Cornerstone Salutes. 5 years ago, I found out about the Salutes program, and I volunteered, went through the rigmarole that I needed to be going through, and I became a volunteer. So I was a volunteer for over 4 years, and doing this pinning ceremonies and reaching out to veterans. I've been through it, and what I've seen, pinning these gentlemen and saluting them, I walk away with tears most of the time. It's just an amazing result that we see. I can give you an example if you like. There was a gentleman, I got a call on a Wednesday that there was a gentleman down in St. Cloud who needed a pinning. And I immediately said, well, why can't we use one of our volunteers? Because we have volunteers in 7 counties. And they said, he's a Marine, and the gentleman who was going to go see him was in the Army, and he wanted a Marine. And I said, I'll be happy to drive down. Prior to getting down there, I found out his family was trying to get his Purple Heart that he received in Iwo Jima. Never received it after all these years. He had no idea that the family's looking for it. I got there on a Saturday morning, I walk in, the daughter calls me and she says, George, we got the medal.
Wow.
And I said, well, you want to give this to your dad? And she said, no, I want you to do it. And immediately I had hair standing up in my arms, and so I went in there and I talked to him and found out what he did in Iwo Jima, and he has no idea that they were even looking. I talked to the grandchildren, I did the ceremony, and I was there for about a half an hour. And as soon as I was done, I said, what's Sal? He said, George, I never received my Purple Heart. Out of the blue, and out of my back pocket. I said, on behalf of the Commandant of the United States Marine Corps, I want to present you with a Purple Heart. He started to cry, I started to cry, and everything in the room was just, you could just hear the tears flowing. It was marvelous. And that alone, no matter how many years I spent doing this, that alone was worth it.
So George, tell me, is this the first time you ever pinned a dog?
You know, it could have been the first time in the United States, too, for a hospice that has a salutes program. We had an opportunity to meet this animal, and as Alex had mentioned before, as soon as the dog was brought in the room, Alex was on the floor. And Alex had such an attachment to this animal. But he's a veteran, and he's also a sergeant. And when we salute a veteran, we salute the rank, whether it's an animal, whether it's a human being, but this is the first time. And but we had no hesitation whatsoever on what he's going to be able to bring to our program.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll add a lot. You were United States Marines. What year were you in?
I was there in 1967. I was there for a year and a half through 68. I was there for the Tet Offensive in Vietnam. And just because I've always had an affinity for veterans. I started a ministry back in '96 up in Pennsylvania, and I reach out to veterans all over the United States. And this is just just brings just closure to me too. It's closure for me as well, and that's a good word for me to use. But you know, it's something we go through, and just be able to be part of this is real special.
I've known you for a long time, and I think you do a terrific job, and I want to thank you for what you do. And I'm going to leave it with welcome home, brother.
I appreciate that very much, and I just thank Lakefront TV too, because you guys have just been an asset to the veterans community.
Idol,
You take. Oh, man.
front and center, Idol.
It's okay, sweetheart. What I'm going to read a citation that we normally read to our veterans. It starts out, no person. I'm going to change that to no canine was ever honored for what he or she received. Honor has always been the reward for what he or she gave. We are gathered here today to honor you for what you gave, your service to your country. My name is George Wamberg. I am a Marine veteran. It is my great honor and privilege to present you today with the Cornerstone Salutes pin, which we will do after this. On behalf of a grateful nation, the staff and volunteers of Cornerstone Hospice and Palliative Care and the Hospice Veterans Partnership of Florida, I would like to pay special tribute to you for your military service to America and for advancing the hope of freedom and liberty for all.
Freeze and hurt.
For your service, Idol, we salute you.
Order. Hurt.
The certificate is for you, Missy. And Idol, you get your pen.
Read. Hurt.
I don't.
This is an absolute honor for me. Idol is our very first four-legged Cornerstone Salutes volunteer. Idol. We have the Cornerstone Salutes team. And he is now official. He has his name badge.
We just inducted Idol into our veteran volunteer ranks. He's now an official Salutes volunteer. And when my partner George Wanberg and I go out into the community, to the nursing homes, assisted living facilities, to recognize the service of the veterans in those facilities, don't always have to be on hospice service for us to thank them for our service. Idol is going to accompany us to these nursing homes where these veterans are shut in. They've lost that sense of dignity and that strength that they had when they were in uniform, and we like to make it a special trip out to most of the facilities that we can get to and gather them together and do what we did here today with the color guard and in a formal pinning ceremony. And Idol is going to now add to the color of that ceremony. And this is a first for the Cornerstone Salutes program. We rely on prior service military members to join us as a volunteer to go out to these patients' homes and salute these veterans. So Idol is definitely a unique and definitely first dog that we've had that has a military background, because one of the criteria to be a volunteer for the Salutes program is that you have prior military service, and Idol certainly fulfills that criteria. Also, Idol is going to be able to visit with some of our veteran patients that are on hospice service that are dealing with a life-limiting diagnosis, and we hope that Idol can bring some smiles and some joy and enhance that quality of life while the veteran is still with us.
Alex, when you were in the service, you had a dog. You remember the dog's name and what breed was it?
Mojo was a German Shepherd. He was a 3-year-old male, and he was trained in the detection of human remains. So he was a cadaver dog or a search and rescue dog. It's sometimes with a twinge of sadness that as my career path in the military changed, I no longer serve with the dog. I continue my work as a medic, but those first 2 years in uniform, working with a service dog, were just incredible. And I know that with some of the visits that these other dogs, not Idol, but do with our patients, the joy it brings to them, it gets them here and now and in the moment with that animal, and not worrying about tomorrow and not focusing on their disease state. And it's it might be a brief respite from what troubles them or from what difficulties and challenges they face, but it's when these dogs are often willing to provide, and it's magical.
Idol has a demeanor about him, a real calmness that people always comment on, that he's just so relaxed. And when when you see a dog of this size, not everybody expects him to want to come and sit in their lap. He's very calming, and so I think that brings out a calmness in people. And the vets that he has visited, I see them relax. I think they look in Idol's eyes kind of like he gets it. I've had some people say, well, why didn't they give him to another vet? Well, it costs a lot of money to train a dog for seizure alert, especially because they're trained for individuals. So in a sense, Idol would have to go back, become untrained, and then retrained to the next person's needs. And that would take a lot of time and a lot of money. It's just as hard to untrain a service dog as it is to train any other dog. It's not easy. But we did it, and we passed the therapy dog test.
Detail, out and hut. Port, heart. Outward, Irish.
If you could talk to the Staff Sergeant Basil Reed right now, what would you like to say to him and what this dog is going to mean to you?
If Staff Sergeant Reed was watching this, and I hope that he does see this someday, I can't thank him enough for choosing me and my family to be the ones to continue working with Idol. It's meant so much to me. This dog is so special. And when Idol arrived to me, he just had so much love. And so I know he came from a very loving environment. And I know that Idol is going to make a difference in many people's lives, whether it's making veterans smile or whether it's helping kids in court or just making someone smile that day. He is an extremely special dog, and I'm so honored to own Idol now.
Well, Idol, it's that time to say goodbye, and this is how we do it. To all our veterans out there, our active military and their families, we salute you for all you do. And buddy, I salute you too. You're a great guy. The dog stole the show. Salute has gone to the dogs. I hope you like that, Dr. Anna Marie. You taking a picture or no? Oh. We here at Lakefront TV have done 50 shows of Salute. We'd like to keep it going with at least another 50. We need your help. We're proud of what we've done, and we're very thankful for the guests we've had on the show in the past. But we'd like to have some more guests, so if your group or you as an individual have a story you wish to tell, give us a call at 352-728-9707. We're looking for people who live in Lake County and the villages. And thank you for watching Salute. Take care.